Starseeds and lightworkers, something in you is tired. Not the kind of tired that sleep fixes, but a deeper exhaustion. The kind that comes from years of pushing, striving, reaching, and wondering why the things meant for you still feel just out of reach. I am Tyron, a representative of the High Council of Sirius, and I want you to hear this clearly with every part of you that is still and listening. You were never meant to force it. What belongs to you does not require you to chase it across the sky. It is already moving toward you, the way a tide moves toward the shore, quietly, steadily, and without effort. By the end of this message, you will understand why your rest is not surrender, and why the dreams you carry are already in motion, even when you cannot feel them moving. Every starseed who carries Sirian codes eventually reaches a moment where the striving stops working. Not because you failed, but because the next phase of your journey cannot be entered through effort. It can only be entered through stillness. The ancient builders along the Nile understood this, that the river does not force its way to the sea, it simply flows and the sea receives it. The dreams you have been holding are not waiting for you to do more. They are waiting for the water inside you to grow calm enough to reflect them clearly. The fog that has made everything feel uncertain is not a sign of delay. It is the space between what was and what is now becoming. You did not find this message because you needed another instruction. You found it because something in you already knew it was time to rest, to soften, and to trust the current that has always known where it is going. Stay with me, dear one. What I have for you next may be the permission your soul has been quietly waiting to receive, and I am grateful you are here with me now. There is a kind of exhaustion that has nothing to do with sleep. You can rest for hours, close your eyes, go quiet, and still feel it. That weight that doesn't lift when you wake. That sense of carrying something you can't name. Something heavier than your daily life should logically produce. It's a profound weariness that settles into your bones, a deep-seated fatigue that no amount of slumber can alleviate. You can lie in stillness for what feels like an eternity, and yet, upon opening your eyes, the burden remains, an invisible shroud clinging to your spirit. It's the feeling of bearing a load far exceeding the ordinary demands of existence, a weight that defies logical explanation. And somewhere beneath this pervasive tiredness, a persistent question echoes, a quiet hum you might not even consciously register. Why does it feel like I'm always working against something? That's what I want you to understand before anything else settles in your heart today. This relentless sensation of opposition, this feeling of being perpetually engaged in a struggle, is not the truth of your being. It is a distortion and illusion cast by the denser energies of this world. The most powerful things in nature do not force. A river does not argue with the landscape. It doesn't push boulders out of the way or demand a faster path to the sea. It simply moves, softly, persistently, inevitably. And the landscape responds. What resists eventually yields. What was hard eventually smooths. The river doesn't know doubt. It only knows direction. Think of a mighty river carving its way through stone. It doesn't wrestle with the rock. It flows around it, over it, and through it. Its relentless movement gradually shaping the unyielding landscape. The river embodies a profound wisdom. That persistence, guided by inherent direction, can overcome any obstacle without the need for brute force. And somewhere inside you, beneath everything that has tired you out, that same intelligence is alive. It has never stopped moving. You just couldn't feel it through all the noise. This inner intelligence, this divine current within your soul, is like that river. It has an inherent flow, a natural direction, a purpose that predates any earthly challenge. That noise, the striving, the forcing, the feeling that you must earn what is already yours, that is not native to who you are. That is something you absorbed. From a world that forgot what you carry, from systems that couldn't recognize you, from a life that kept asking you to be smaller, quieter, more manageable, when everything within you was designed to be vast. This cacophony is the sound of your soul attempting to navigate a world that often prioritizes external validation over inner knowing. It's the constant hum of striving, the belief that you must constantly prove your worth, that you must fight for every inch of progress, every ounce of love, every spark of recognition. This is not the song of your true essence. This is a borrowed melody, learned from a terrestrial symphony that has forgotten the celestial harmony you were born to express. You absorbed these dissonant frequencies from a reality that had lost its way, from societal structures that were not built to accommodate your unique brilliance, from a human experience that often attempts to shrink the boundless into the confined. It's as if a vast, ancient forest was asked to believe it was merely a small potted plant expected to thrive within tiny confines. Some healing doesn't come through words, it comes through water. If something stirred within you just now, you may be ready to receive the Sirian water codes. This powerful guide carries sacred techniques channeled from the waters of Sirius, clearing baths, breathing practices, and protection rituals designed specifically for starseeds who have always felt called by the ocean. The link is in the first pinned comment, but only for a limited time. Imagine the ocean, the ultimate symbol of depth, mystery, and ancient wisdom. This is the essence being offered, a pathway to unlock that which lies dormant within you, like pearls hidden in the deepest trenches of the sea. The Sirian water codes are not merely a collection of techniques. They are an invitation to return to your oceanic origins, to remember the language of your soul spoken in the currents and tides of cosmic waters. The ache you have been feeling is not a sign that you are failing. It is a sign that you are close. So close that the part of you which agreed to forget, the part that took on this life, this density, this beautiful and difficult human form, that part is beginning to thin. Like ice at the edge of spring, like a fog that hasn't lifted yet, but you can feel the warmth coming. The ache is the membrane between who you have been pretending to be and who you actually are. And it only hurts this much because the gap is closing. This exquisite ache, this poignant yearning, is the precursor to profound liberation. It is the gentle yet insistent pressure of your true self pressing against the confines of the persona you've worn. It's the sensation of a butterfly's wings beginning to unfurl, the delicate struggle before the magnificent emergence. The human form is a sacred vessel, and the density of earthly experience can sometimes obscure the ethereal light within. But as you draw closer to remembering, the veils begin to dissipate, and the ache is the beautiful, poignant evidence of that thinning. It signifies not failure, but the imminent breakthrough, the glorious unfurling of your authentic being. Starseeds don't struggle because they are weak. They struggle because they came from a frequency so far beyond this dimension that the adjustment alone is a kind of heroism. You didn't arrive here equipped with a manual. You didn't land with your memory intact. You came through the veil like everyone else, small, dependent, completely open. And you took in this world before you had any way to filter it. You absorbed its fears. You learned its doubts. You internalized the limitations of people who loved you but couldn't see what you were. And slowly, across years of trying to belong somewhere you were always meant to transform, you started to believe that the version of you that this world recognized was the real one. Your journey here is akin to a celestial being descending into a deeply immersive dreamscape. You arrived not as an omniscient entity, but as a nascent consciousness cradled by the human form. Without the inherent navigational tools of your home frequency, you were exposed to the raw, unfiltered energies of this realm. The fears that permeate this dimension became imprinted upon your innocent awareness. The pervasive doubts seeped into your developing consciousness, and the limitations of even well-meaning souls who could not perceive your true nature became internalized narratives. To have navigated this profound descent, to have adapted and endured, is not a sign of weakness, but an extraordinary act of cosmic bravery. It isn't. It never was. The perceived limitations, the self-doubt, the sense of not belonging, these are echoes of the world you entered, not inherent truths of your origin. Your true essence remains untouched by these earthly imprints. What you are is encoded far beneath the surface of your personality, your story, your habits and hesitations. It lives in a place the patterns of this world could not reach, a depth where the waters are still and clear and ancient. Sirian wisdom has always spoken of this place, not as a metaphor, but as a real aspect of the soul's architecture, a chamber within you where your original codes are stored, untouched, intact, waiting not for the right circumstances, but for the right stillness. Imagine your soul as a vast ancient library and your earthly personality as a single, well-worn volume on a lower shelf. The true essence, the divine blueprint, resides in the deepest, most sacred chambers of that library, preserved in its pristine original form. These are the untouched archives of your being, the crystalline core of your existence, holding the sacred wisdom and pure vibration of your cosmic home. Sirian teachings often speak of these inner sanctuaries, not as mere symbolic representations, but as tangible energetic spaces within the soul's architecture, where the unadulterated essence of who you are is eternally preserved, awaiting not external validation, but your own internal recognition. That is why rest is not passive right now. That is why doing nothing, truly intentionally, lovingly doing nothing, is one of the most powerful things you can choose in this season. In this era of perpetual motion and constant productivity, the act of genuine rest is a radical act of defiance. It is not an admission of defeat, nor is it mere idleness. It is a conscious, deliberate choice to reclaim your energetic sovereignty. It is an open invitation for the divine to work through you, rather than a desperate attempt to force its way in. To cease the striving, to lay down the burdens, to simply be, is to create the fertile ground for your soul's natural unfolding. It is akin to a farmer leaving a field fallow, not out of laziness, but out of a deep understanding that the soil needs time to regenerate, to replenish its vital energies, so that it may yield an even more abundant harvest. When you stop fighting the current reveals itself. And what has been moving beneath the surface of your life, quietly rearranging things while you were busy being afraid, you begin to feel it. The synchronicities that seemed random reveal their geometry. The doors that closed, you begin to understand, were never yours to open. The losses that hurt you most begin to show you what they made space for. Nothing was wasted. Not a single moment of confusion. Not a single night you cried without knowing why. All of it was the water working. When you surrender the illusion of control and allow yourself to flow with the divine current, the intricate patterns of your life begin to emerge. The seemingly random occurrences transform into cosmic breadcrumbs, guiding you toward your destiny. The closed doors, once sources of frustration, reveal themselves as divine redirections, protecting you from paths not meant for your soul's journey. Even the deepest sorrows, the most profound losses, begin to illuminate the purpose they served, the space they created for new growth, for higher vibrational frequencies to enter your experience. Every tear shed, every moment of confusion was not in vain. It was all part of the sacred alchemical work of the cosmic waters, purifying and preparing you. You are not behind. You could not be behind. The universe does not operate on the schedule you learned in this world, the one that says you should have figured it out by now, should have arrived somewhere visible and measurable and provable. That schedule was never written for souls like yours. Your timing is tidal. It does not answer to clocks, it answers to readiness. And readiness is not a decision you make with your mind. It is a recognition that moves through you like a wave when the conditions within you have finally aligned. The earthly construct of time with its rigid deadlines and linear progression, is a limited framework that cannot contain the fluid cyclical nature of your soul's evolution. Your essence operates on cosmic rhythms, on the ebb and flow of divine timing. Readiness is not a mental calculation. It is a resonant frequency, a soul-level attunement that arises organically when your inner landscape is harmonized. It is the moment the moon aligns with the sun, the tide reaching its peak, the natural culmination of an inner process that transcends the limitations of the clock. The fog that has been sitting on your life lately, that sense of unclear direction, of standing at a threshold but not being able to see what's on the other side, that fog is not a problem. It is a passage. The water has to cloud before it clears, and it clouds because things are moving. Things are dissolving that need to dissolve. Patterns that were keeping you small are losing their grip. Old agreements, made in lifetimes you don't consciously remember, are being quietly renegotiated. You feel this as confusion, as restlessness, as that strange mix of exhaustion and anticipation that makes no logical sense. But it makes perfect soul sense. This period of perceived uncertainty, this hazy interlude where the path forward is obscured, is a crucial phase of spiritual metamorphosis. It is the chrysalis stage, where the old form is dissolving to make way for the new. The fog is not an indication of being lost, but of being in transit, of profound energetic shifts occurring beneath the surface. Old energetic contracts, forged in the crucible of past lives and forgotten experiences, are being reevaluated and released, creating the necessary space for your higher truth to emerge. This can manifest as a disorienting blend of fatigue and eager anticipation, a feeling of being on the cusp of something monumental, even when the details remain elusive. Let yourself be in the fog without fighting it. You do not need to see the whole river to know it is flowing. Embrace this liminal space with gentle curiosity. It is a sacred pause, a necessary gestation period. Trust that the river of divine destiny is flowing, even when its course is not yet visible. Surrender to the unfolding, knowing that clarity will emerge from the mists when the time is divinely appointed. There will come a moment, and for many of you, that moment is closer than you think, when something inside you simply settles. Not because your circumstances have changed, not because all your questions have been answered, but because you stopped requiring the answers before you could feel safe. Because you finally let the waters hold you, instead of trying to hold the waters yourself. That settling is not surrender. It is arrival. It is what happens when a soul stops arguing with its own depth. This profound internal calm, this deep sense of peace that descends not from external validation, but from within, is the true arrival. It is the soul's recognition of its own intrinsic worth, its own inherent safety, independent of external conditions. It is the moment you cease to be the frantic navigator, desperately trying to control the turbulent seas, and instead become the ocean itself, vast, calm, and self-contained. This is not an act of resignation, but a triumphant homecoming, a joyous reunion with your own divine essence. And from that place, from that quiet, anchored, luminous place, things begin to move toward you. Not because you forced them, because you finally became still enough for them to find you. When you inhabit this state of deep inner stillness, you become a powerful magnet for the very experiences, connections, and manifestations that align with your soul's highest purpose. These gifts do not arrive through force or manipulation, but through an effortless magnetism, a silent calling that draws them into your radiant field of being. You are not chasing, you are attracting. You are not striving, you are allowing. Dreams are like that. Not just the ones you have in sleep, though those too carry more than you have given them credit for lately, but the deeper dreams, the ones you have been carrying so long you almost stopped calling them dreams and started calling them impossible. Those dreams know your frequency. They were always moving in your direction. The only thing that ever slowed their arrival was the turbulence, the striving, the doubting, the constant noise of trying to be something other than what you already are. Your deepest aspirations, the visions that have been etched upon your soul, are not mere fantasies. They are resonant frequencies of your future reality. These dreams carry the vibrational signature of your true path, and they are perpetually drawn to your authentic essence. The only impediment to their manifestation is the internal discord, the relentless striving, the seeds of doubt, and the cacophony of trying to conform to external expectations, which creates energetic static that muffles their approach. Still the turbulence, the dreams know where you are. By quieting the internal chaos, by harmonizing your energetic field, you create a clear channel for your dreams to find you. They are already en route, guided by the undeniable resonance of your soul's true calling. This is not a passive teaching, it is a precise one. Rest is not laziness. Rest is receptivity. Rest is the open hand that can receive what a clenched fist never could. Rest is how the seed becomes the tree, not by struggling through the soil, but by trusting the dark long enough to push toward the light in its own time. You are in the dark right now, but you are not lost in it. You are growing through it. This principle of rest as receptivity is a fundamental teaching for souls journeying through dense realities. It is the art of allowing, the grace of being open to divine inflow. A clenched fist cannot receive a delicate feather, but an open palm can cradle it gently. Similarly, by releasing the tight grip of control and resistance, you create the sacred space to receive the blessings and guidance that are destined for you. Like a seed nestled in the earth, your current experience may feel like a period of darkness, of waiting. But this is not dormancy. It is potent growth, a silent, powerful preparation for your emergence into the light. The ancient ones who laid the foundations of the great temples by the Nile understood something that has been almost entirely forgotten in this age, that the most sacred work is not done in action, but in alignment. The structures they built were not built by force alone. They were built by those who first became still enough to hear the geometry of the universe and then gave their hands over to it. They let something greater move through them. And what moved through them has lasted thousands of years. The builders of ancient wonders possessed a profound understanding of divine collaboration. They recognized that true creation stems not from brute force or relentless effort, but from a state of profound energetic alignment with the universe. By first attuning themselves to the subtle frequencies, the sacred geometry of existence, they became conduits for a power far greater than their own. Their actions were guided by an inner knowing, a divine blueprint, allowing the universe to manifest through their hands, resulting in creations that have transcended millennia. What wants to move through you is no different. It is old, it is precise, it is patient, and it has never stopped waiting for you to let it. The same ancient, intelligent, and patient force that moved through those who built the great temples is available to you now. It resides within you, a dormant power waiting for your conscious invitation. It is the divine spark, the cosmic intelligence, ready to express itself through your unique being. It requires only your willingness to align, to still the internal noise, and to allow its precise, loving guidance to flow through you. So tonight, if you feel that weight, that beautiful, heavy, almost unbearable weight of carrying something immense in a world that doesn't yet have words for it, don't fight it. Don't try to fix it. Don't pick up another tool or strategy or plan. Just rest. Let the waters in you grow still. Let whatever has been working beneath the surface continue its work without interference. Trust that what is yours is already moving toward you. Trust that you don't have to earn it by suffering more. Embrace the profound significance of the burden you carry. It is not a curse, but a testament to your immense capacity and the vital role you play. Release the urge to force solutions or to seek external remedies. Instead, turn inward. Allow the deep healing waters of your soul to become calm and clear. Trust the unseen processes unfolding within. What is divinely meant for you is already on its journey, drawing near. Release the belief that suffering is a prerequisite for receiving your rightful blessings. You came here carrying light codes older than the questions this world has been asking. You did not come to force the world into remembering. You came to be the remembering. Simply by being here, fully here, in the frequency that is yours and only yours. And that is already happening. You don't have to do more. You just have to let it. Your very presence on this planet is an act of remembrance. You are a living repository of ancient wisdom, of divine light, encoded within your being. Your purpose is not to compel the world towards awakening, but to embody the truth of your own luminous essence. By simply existing in your unique frequency, by fully inhabiting the truth of who you are, you serve as a beacon, a catalyst for remembrance in others. This profound shift is not achieved through arduous effort, but through the graceful act of allowing. Before you go, leave one word in the comments, just one, that describes what you felt during this message. Then find someone else's word and respond with encouragement. This isn't just a comment section. It's a space where starseeds recognize each other, and that recognition carries more power than you know. If something in this message touched you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you'd like to keep receiving these transmissions, subscribe. The waters of Sirius will carry us to the next one. You're not just watching, you're remembering. This is your space, and I'm grateful you were here.